It didn't begin with fire, it began with flour. One tiny sneeze, and chaos was born. Through the billowing white cloud, a small figure emerged, covered head to toe in powder, eyes wide and blazing like a tiny warrior stepping onto the battlefield for the first time. This was Mochi, and this was her kitchen now. She wasn't supposed to be on the counter, but as her human started preparing dinner, something stirred deep within her. It was an ancient, primal instinct, the very spirit of a chef, fierce and utterly fearless, awakening from its slumber. Crouched on the granite, her eyes glowed in the warm, ambient light of the stove, watching every move. Her human, completely oblivious, just kept chopping vegetables, unaware of the culinary storm that was about to break. The little kitten's gaze locked onto the bowl of flour. It was a mountain of pure white, mysterious and alluring, practically calling her name. Curiosity, that powerful, feline force, took complete control. In one fluid motion, she gathered her tiny muscles and leaped. Destiny, in the form of a very full bowl, struck with a powdery vengeance. The world turned white. After a moment, a tiny, adorable sneeze echoed through the kitchen, followed by a look of immense, misplaced pride. She had made her mark. Of course, a true chef needs more than just flour. As her human turned away for a single, fateful second, the next great culinary duel began. Kitten versus salmon. It was a battle of wits, speed, and sheer audacity. And in this kitchen, there could only be one winner. The camera zooms in on a beautiful, glistening fillet of salmon. A tiny paw slowly, stealthily, reaches into the frame. Then, in a flash, the salmon is gone. The camera pans down to find Mochi hiding under the counter, cheeks puffed out, mouth full, with an expression that was a perfect blend of guilt and smug satisfaction. The heist was a success, but the chaos was just getting started. Flour began to appear on the fridge. Eggshells decorated the walls. The rich, decadent smell of butter mingled with the unmistakable scent of war. And at the very center of it all, a tiny general with a twitching tail commanded her messy troops. It was a montage of madness. Utensils clattered to the floor. She scaled the refrigerator like it was her own personal Mount Everest, her tail swishing back and forth like a whip. Her human chased her in a desperate, futile dance, but the tiny agent of chaos was always one step ahead. Every corner held a new surprise, every surface a new canvas for her culinary art. Then came the final boss battle, the oil pan. Her human placed it on the stove, and a single, rogue drop of water sizzled with a dramatic hiss. That was a signal. For Mochi, it was a declaration of war. She charged forward, a fearless warrior ready to face a spitting beast. But her valiant charge was cut short by a rolling cherry tomato, a treacherous, round foe. She slipped, spun in a pirouette worthy of a ballet, and crashed directly into the toaster. Dazed, she saw her own reflection in its shiny surface and hissed, ready to fight the other kitten who dared to invade her domain. The dramatic music cut to a sudden, comedic silence. The battle was over. Her human had seen enough. The kitchen was a disaster zone, a monument to Mochi's ambition. She dropped the spatula to the floor with a sigh of utter defeat, looked at the tiny, flour-dusted kitten sitting proudly on the counter, and whispered, "Fine, you win. You're the chef tonight." A truce was called. The harsh lights of battle softened into a warm, golden glow, illuminating the victor on her throne. Mochi, the newly crowned chef, surveyed her masterpiece, a single, slightly burnt, misshapen pancake. To anyone else, it was a failure, but to her, it was a triumph. It was art. She sniffed it delicately, then with a gentle nudge of her head, pushed it toward her human and offering a peace treaty, a dish presented by a master for judging. Through the mess and the mayhem, her owner couldn't help but smile. For a brief, shining moment, there was peace. A calm settled over the war-torn kitchen. But peace, as we all know, is a fragile thing. It never lasts. Not when there's a secret weapon still waiting in the wings. Her human's eyes slowly widened in dawning horror. A quick zoom reveals Mochi, with a look of intense determination, dragging a brand new, unopened bag of flour across the kitchen floor. The tension mounted, and then it happened. A second explosion. A second, even bigger storm of white. And from the heart of the blizzard, a single, triumphant meow echoed through the house. It was a sound of absolute, unquestionable victory. Flower Kitten had returned. Later that night, as her human scrolled through the phone, re-watching the footage of the day's unbelievable chaos, she heard something impossible. Every leap Mochi made, every clatter of a falling spoon, every crash, and every single meow, it was all perfectly in rhythm. It wasn't just chaos. It was a symphony, a beautiful, accidental masterpiece conducted by a tiny maestro. The camera slowly pans over to Mochi, now fast asleep in a makeshift nest of paper towels, looking as innocent and angelic as could be. 10 million views later, Mochi became a global legend. Her culinary symphony went viral. Some say you can still hear her music in the quiet moments of the night, every time a cat, somewhere in the world, knocks something off a counter. Because as we now know, every great chef makes a mess. Thanks for watching our little kitchen superstar. If you enjoyed Mochi's chaotic creations, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.